From trolling each other and addressing callouts to major money deals, there's so much that happened over the last week that we have got to talk about. From MrBeast releasing news that he landed a TV show, to someone Brooke called out on the podcast speaking out, to Tana trolling JoJo along with the rest of the internet, there's definitely things we must discuss. To start off, team, we're going to talk about this MrBeast deal, as he has landed himself a deal with Prime Video where he is going to be hosting and producing a game show of his own called Beast Games. The show will reportedly have the largest cash prize of any TV show in history, with talks of $5 million being given away. He said in a statement, "My goal is to make the greatest show possible and prove YouTubers and creators can succeed on other platforms," said MrBeast. "Amazon gave me the creative control I need to try and make it happen. I hope to make the YouTube community proud." He's teased this as being an even better version of the YouTube videos that he's making now, with even higher set design and storytelling. And he sat down on the Colin and Samir podcast recently where he talked further about the show and his plans to make it the best.
We're throwing everything out the door and just trying to really think from, first principles, what actually makes a show great. Now it'll probably be 6+ hours of content, whereas my normal videos are 20 minutes. So the character building, the storytelling will be out of this world.
He says he's still planning to post on YouTube, and this won't be a distraction from that. He's even planning to upload even more than he did last year, but this show is huge for him and he really wants people to be impressed by it. He feels like his reputation as well as other creators' reputations are on the line, in that if this flops, people will not be as willing to give other creators opportunities like this. He really wants to make something that will open doors for more creators.
Yeah. Well, of course, my pride's on the line, because obviously if this show doesn't do well, then it's he's just, a YouTuber. He can't. Yeah, but it's not even just me, it's also other creators. I take it very serious. This is why I'm putting so much effort and energy into it, because if this flops, then people are gonna be like, yeah, YouTubers aren't capable of, making it on streaming platforms. And I recognize it could either have a massive positive effect, and that every streaming platform is gonna be throwing deals left and right at creators, or a negative effect, and people are gonna go, if Jimmy couldn't make a hit show, what makes you think you can? And
yes.
That is one of my biggest fears, is the inverse, which is why I'm not gonna let that happen. Without getting into specific numbers, I could, try to film it in a week or two, and just look at this as, how can I make as much money as possible, and just pocket a disgusting amount of money. But that's not the goal here. The goal here is to make the greatest streaming show possible, so people, look at the YouTuber, economy, and it's wow, they can really move the needle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, I do have high hopes for this, as what he's trying to accomplish just seems to be a more expensive, longer version of the YouTube videos that are already insanely successful for him. He has such a large audience that I do think that he will be able to get them to watch the show, because it's very different from a YouTuber who wants to then go into acting, where the things that they're acting in are not very similar to what they've been posting on YouTube, whereas this transition for him doesn't seem that crazy, and it seems like he's still doing something that his same audience is going to want to watch. He even said that part of the first episode will go live on his YouTube channel to try and get people to go to Prime and watch the rest of it. So I guess we'll have to see how it goes when this thing does eventually come out. 1,000 people are reportedly going to be participating in the game show, which is a ton of people. This thing sounds crazy, and I definitely want to know if you guys will be tuning in. Now, as for Tana and Brooke, these two aren't necessarily in trouble, but one of the conversations they've had on a podcast episode have started a bit of drama between them and another creator. Earlier this year, Brooke talked about this girl who she was calling Junie B, and how she would say all of these backhanded things to her, and said that higher end brands won't want to work with her. Brooke talked about how this all made her feel, and viewers were just dying to know who Junie B was.
Who I did run into on the hike is that girl who told me to elevate. You know the one.
Junie B. Jones. That's a funny ass nickname for her though.
If you guys don't recall, she's the one who told me that no serious brand is ever gonna want to work with me, because I have kind of an unserious image. And by that, she means I work with kind of trashy brands, is what she said. She said, so long as you're working with this person, this person, and this person. Specifically, she said, why?
I just have to check right now that she is a micro influencer.
Well, don't bully, because it's going to be obvious.
But I just think that how can you give someone career advice if they would theoretically want yours if they wanted to succeed at what they're doing.
Well, that's a joke. She specifically said, like, YSL will never work with you. That like X, Y, and Z will never work with you.
Fans had speculated that this might be TikToker Morgan B. Cohen, but they weren't 100%. In a later episode of the podcast, Brooke said that Junie B actually ended up apologizing to her because some people did find out who she was and she felt bad.
He texted me and he was like, who's Junie B?
She sent me an apology.
No, she
Because
didn't.
she was getting hate.
Okay, so what exactly happened?
What did she say in the
No,
apology?
I haven't opened it. I'm not kidding.
What'd she say to you?
Because I feel so guilty.
She said to you, you will never work with these brands?
Not in so many words. You were there.
Yeah, it's more the series of pick-me events.
She'll just say the most insane things, like out-of-pocket things, but I really think she I think those
believes it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's not intentional. She's not being mean, but it's very like, oh my God, I cannot believe you thought that was okay to come out of your mouth.
I've had a lot of fun with her, and I want to clarify that we have a lot of characters where we'll tell like a negative story, and it's like, you know,
I mean, he's
the
looking,
story-
he's going, no, you haven't.
the story. Yeah, fuck. Of course, the negative, crazy story is gonna make it to the podcast. That
Right.
doesn't negate that one time, like she really liked my outfit, and like we talked about boys for 30, and like it was fine, you know.
I've had fun with her, but listen, if I tell a story about somebody on the podcast, I like, it's between you and me and not her. You know what I mean? You guys do not have to comment on her stuff.
And since then, it's been made clear that it really was Morgan who was Junie B, and she went live on TikTok this past week where the chat was starting to fill up with people calling her that, and she had some things to say.
I'm a mean girl. It bothers me so much.
Well, it's hard when someone takes a conversation and twists it and then publicly humiliates you. It's like not nice. So I don't really know who the mean one is in that situation because
None of it is necessary or fucking relevant in this real, like, in life. Like, it's like not, it's just not. It's just not. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. It's not necessary to talk about. Everyone just needs to genuinely stop.
How did we get here?
Because it's just like overwhelming. Like everyone's like, tell your side. I'm like, no, because regardless, everyone always has an opinion. So there's nothing to talk about.
She also ended up posting a longer video on her TikTok account talking about this whole thing much further.
Junie B. Jones. I was mentioned on Cancel's podcast under the alias Junie B. Jones. Let me just tell you guys how the conversation went. And I also want to say me and Brooke are fine. I have apologized to her so many times and we are friends and that is it. We were sitting on the couch, we were talking. She said she was doing this deal for this fast fashion house and how she has a lot of posts that she has to do. And I said, if you work with fast fashion, it's going to be harder for you to work with high fashion. Like they probably won't want to work with you if you're working with fast fashion. I'm going to take this as I should never give anyone career advice ever again. The only reason I ever said this was because 4 years ago, I wish someone told me that. I told her this out of purely good intention. There was never a bad intention I was trying to project onto her, but it came out wrong.
So clearly she isn't standing for what's been said about her, but that's what she had to say in response to what Brooke said on the podcast. But speaking of Tana, she has been joining in on those trolling JoJo Siwa for her bad girls era that she has been teasing all over social media. Tons of people have been weighing in on how they feel about all that JoJo has been sharing on socials to tease this new era of music that she is about to release that is not supposed to be for kids. As we've talked about, JoJo has been promoting her new song that is about to come out, and a lot of people are just over all of the teasing of this song, and they're like, just put it out already. You've been teasing it for so freaking long. And so a lot of the things being said have started to get quite nasty towards JoJo. Most people are saying that they don't think that she is in a bad girl era, at least not as much as she thinks, because they feel like the costumes that she's been teasing for this music video that she's gonna put out seem pretty similar to the glitter costumes that she's always been attached to, and feel like her singing about being bad in all of this isn't making sense with the way that she was really this bow girl. People had been predicting what they thought her song was going to sound like as well, and some of them were pretty spot on.
Karma's a bitch, karma's a snore. I don't want karma anymore. You can leave karma at the door.
I'm a bad girl, bad girl. I stay up late, I kiss girls on the first date.
I can't play a clip from her song just because it'll probably be copyrighted once the song is actually released. But the lyrics that she has out so far is, I was a bad girl, I did some bad things, I swear I did it all for fun and it meant nothing. It never happened, it was a secret. Like when a tree falls in the forest, no one hears it. Another late night, another crazy mood, and I didn't think twice what it would do to you. I was a wild child, you always knew it, it was a matter of time before I blew it. Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not cheat. Thou shalt not get caught or you'll end up just like me. Karma's a bee. I should have known better. If I had a wish, I would have never effed around. When I saw the pics of you and her, I felt the knife twist. Karma's a bee and she's with you right now. People on TikTok have commented in reaction to the teaser of this song saying, I was a bad girl literally her whole life. Girl, no, you were literally the beau girl. I was a bad girl, bye. JoJo, no, you were not a bad girl. I'm turning my volume down. And like I said, Tana has joined the conversation, posting using JoJo's song multiple times, once with her boyfriend and then another time where she was singing it.
I was a bad girl. I'm doing bad things. You think she's ever taken like a 30 and like cussed somebody out?
JoJo doesn't seem bothered by what people have to say though. She seems pretty happy with the fact that, like it or not, the song has been trending. She posted on her Instagram that she was trending on both Instagram and on TikTok. Now, whether it's a good or bad thing is the real question, but clearly JoJo is just loving it. And this is only the beginning of the new era. The full song isn't even out yet, so we'll have to see how things go when it is out. But as of right now, that's the JoJo update and what's been going on this week. Let me know what you guys think about this and the whole Brooke Junie B situation, as well as MrBeast getting a show. Will you be tuning in? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.